Hello everyone, this is Rick. Welcome to episode 2 of the Rajput series. Please go through the first episode of this series in order to understand this video better. So, in our first episode, we have discussed about the origin of the Rajputs. However, in this video today, we are going to go into deep about the Rajput government and society. As a disclaimer, I would like to say that videos in this channel do not contain any music or graphics. It will not be very entertaining because we make this with very limited resources. However, you will get a lot of information in a very detailed manner through these videos. Information which actually matters. You can also hear these videos as an audio file. So, without any delay, let's begin. Rajput government and society. Rajput government structure. The Rajput government was feudal with numerous kingdoms in northern India. Each kingdom was divided into estates or jaigirs led by jaigirdars. Jaigirdars often belonged to the same family as Rajput chiefs. Security and strength of the state depended on these Jaigirdars. Jaigirdars provided military service and payments to the king. Governance depended on the king's personality. Weak kings led to paralysis. Individualism fostered by this system hindered unity. Feuds were common feature due to the fragmented system. Rajput bureaucracy. Literature references a structured bureaucracy during the Rajput period. The term kayastha was used for officials in inscriptions. Officials were mainly Brahmanas who held administrative positions. Bureaucracy was systematic but heavily reliant on the ruler's abilities. The central government's changes rarely affected village life. Local councils or panchayats managed village level governance. Panchayats collected revenue and administered justice. Village leaders and patwaris submitted revenues to the treasury. Economic structure. Land revenue was the chief source of income for the state. Taxes on trade and commerce supplemented state income. Jaigidas contributed additional payments to the state's treasury. Revenue was collected via panchayats, maintaining autonomy in villages. Villagers managed their affairs unaffected by central upheavals. Agricultural surplus supported economic prosperity. Trade and commerce were essential for Rajput economies. Economic contributions bolstered state functions and military campaigns. Caste system and social hierarchy. Society was dominated by Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. Brahmanas monopolized knowledge and religious duties. Kshatriyas formed the warrior class and held political power. Vaishyas engaged in trade and commerce, ensuring economic stability. Shudras worked as farmers and artisans in rural communities. Untouchables lived outside villages, marginalized from the mainstream society. The caste system gradually became rigid during the later periods. New subcastes emerged, adding complexity to the social structure. Role of Brahmanas. Brahmanas claimed authority over all spiritual and secular matters. They acted as counselors and ministers to Rajput rulers. Roles included teaching, performing sacrifices, and religious rituals. Capital punishment was not applied to Brahmanas, highlighting privileges. Brahmanas were priests, philosophers, and cultural leaders. Subcaste like Malvi, Telugu, and Gaur Brahmanas emerged. Their influence extended to administrative and religious affairs. Religious practices reinforced Brahmana dominance in the society. Emergence of subcaste. Subcastes evolved based on residence, occupation, and customs. Examples include cowherds, oilmen, carpenters, and weavers. Caesthas emerged as a clerical caste, handling administration. New subcaste reflected increasing occupational diversity. Regional and occupational identities influenced social stratification. Caste divisions dictated professions, limiting upward mobility. Subcastes among Brahmanas and Vaishyas were particularly prominent. Economic roles often aligned with caste distinctions in Rajput society. Rajput woman. Women enjoyed respect and freedom in early Rajput society. Practices like Swayamvara allowed women to choose their husbands. Education included learning Sanskrit, painting, and other arts. Notable women included Akka Devi, Avanti, Sundari, and Indulekha. Jauhar and Sati symbolized loyalty but reflected harsh societal norms. Early marriage was common, with growing restrictions in later periods. Polygamy was widespread, emphasizing patriarchal traditions. Widowhood was a state of misery, as remarriage was often disallowed. Cultural practices. Birds or charans were important, reciting heroic deeds and clan histories. They managed family records, including births, deaths, and marriages. Music, dance, and drama flourished in the Rajput courts. Festivals and fairs were celebrated across Rajput kingdoms. Recreational activities included chess, hunting, and dice games. Women participated actively in cultural and literary pursuits. Rajput arts showcased creativity and high cultural standards. Cultural vibrancy reflected prosperity and societal values. Architecture and infrastructure. Rajputs excelled in constructing forts, palaces, and temples. Forts like Chittorgarh symbolized architectural brilliance. Irrigation systems included tanks, reservoirs, and canals. Villages were linked through well maintained trade routes. Urban centers developed around trade and administrative hubs. Rajput architecture balanced utility with aesthetic appeal. Agricultural innovations supported economic and population growth. The state supported farmers during droughts and famines. Military structure. Military service was a key duty for Jaigiddas and their retainers. Armies consisted mainly of Kshatriyas trained in warfare. Practices like Jauhar exemplified loyalty in the face of defeat. Feudal military systems fragmented centralized control. Rajput warriors were renowned for their valor and swordsmanship. Frequent conflicts occurred among kingdoms and against invaders. Horses and elephants played a significant role in warfare. Military strength varied based on the ruler's leadership. Economic activities. Trade and commerce were vital, linking Rajput cities to external markets. Key exports included textiles, metals, and agricultural goods. Taxes on commerce significantly contributed to the state revenues. Merchant guilds operated autonomously within urban centers. Markets thrived, facilitating cultural and economic exchanges. Trade routes connected Rajput territories with neighboring regions. Economic prosperity attracted traders from distant lands. Economic policies supported both domestic and international trade. Decline of the Rajput system. Feudalism weakened central governance, leading to instability. Frequent feuds among the Jaigidars undermined unity. Muslim invasions destabilized Rajput power and control. Economic stagnation resulted from rigid caste systems and social immobility. Decline adaptability contributed to their inability to counter invaders. Cultural vibrancy declined as political instability increased. Administrative inefficiencies hampered state functions. Weak rulers accelerated the decline of the Rajput kingdoms. Social issues. Early Rajput society allowed flexibility in caste and marriage. Intercaste marriages influenced societal norms as seen in inscriptions. Later periods saw increased rigidity and emergence of new subcastes. Untouchables were excluded from the mainstream society and lived on the periphery. Societal customs included restrictions on women's roles and rights. Sati and Jauhar reflected patriarchal control over women. Festivals and fairs showcase social unity amidst rigid hierarchies. Social rigidity hindered societal progress and reform. Legacy of the Rajput period. Rajputs left a lasting impact on Indian architecture and culture. Their contributions to art, literature, and governance are significant. Feudal governance influenced their administrative systems. Rajput resistance to invaders remains a symbol of valor. Cultural practices like Swayamvar and Johar are historically notable. Subcaste and social stratification shaped Indian society for centuries. Their architectural marvels stand as a state testament to their legacy. The Rajput period highlights the complexities of medieval Indian history. So, that was all about the government, society, and economy of the Rajputs. Hope you have liked the video. Please go through the other videos in this series to understand each video in a better way. Thank you for your love and support.